All right, first up this morning, he is the host of the popular television program A Craftsman's Legacy on PBS and Amazon Prime. Eric Gorges travels the United States featuring potters, glass blowers, woodworkers, and many more.
That's right, and we are thrilled to welcome Eric to the yellow couch. How's it feel?
It feels great.
Yeah.
I told him during the picture, I said, scoot in, and he sat right next to me.
He's like, okay, all right. You can now read all about these stories that he features in his new book. It's called A Craftsman's Legacy, where he says nothing in life compares to the satisfaction, respect, and peace that comes from working with your hands. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So you're a self-proclaimed former IT nerd, right, who decided to leave the corporate world?
What do you say, corporate refugee? I used to say recovering corporate America employee.
Yeah. I worked for Xerox for like 12 years, and I was in the IT, right?
Yeah.
And it was great. You know, awesome company to work for. I learned a lot. I really enjoyed it. But I started to develop this panic disorder that ultimately took over my life, and you know, I
developed a panic disorder too. It made a change. That's
Hers has
fascinating.
been cured by working with me, though.
Yeah.
You work with your hands, she works with me. It works.
How about the way I said that too? Oh, I had a panic disorder too.
It's so light and fun.
Yeah. Like,
Everybody
it's
loves
just
panic. You know?
Come and go.
Feels good.
But yeah, so I started working with my hands, and it literally changed my life.
How did you find that? Was there a therapist or somebody who said, "Hey, try
It was
an
a
outlet"?
shrink.
It was.
Yeah,
I love it.
for
It was
sure.
a shrink.
It was a
Yep.
shrink.
Said, "Go use your hands somewhere." Is that what? I mean, what did they say?
No, what he said was he said because at that time, man, you know, I was a mess. I was agoraphobic. I barely left my house.
Wow.
And
I got to that point too, almost.
It's
It feels
rough,
bad,
right? Isn't
especially
it?
if kids, because they don't want to stay home all the time.
I was lucky I didn't have kids at that time. You know?
Yeah.
But this gentleman said, you know, Eric, if you could do anything with your life, what would you do? And he said, don't worry about money, don't worry about skills. What would you do for a living or with your life? And I said, man, I'd make stuff. Instantly, I knew it, you know? And he said, well, what would you make? And then it just sort of went on from there. And I always tell people, like, he could have told me, build a rocket ship, fly to the moon, and I would have done that, right?
Yep,
I
I
just
did
wanted
that
to get
too.
better, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And, but that's what I did. I started building motorcycles,
Yeah.
and I started a company doing that.
And it became very successful in Detroit, right?
The company's in Detroit, yeah, but we've got bikes all over the world, and
Yeah.
I've traveled for it all over the place, and yeah,
Good for
very
you.
blessed life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, people who have a panic disorder, it's maybe not the first thing you think of would be to do a TV show.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, yeah. I was worried about that, right?
Yeah,
You know, I was
me
really
too.
worried about it because I was like, you know, when you're in this role and you're trying to figure out how to do a television show, you know, I'm not a TV guy, you know what I mean? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm wondering to myself, like, oh, you know, can I do this? Am I okay? Am I going to have problems with it? And you just sort of work it through. You figure it out.
Good for you.
You featured some pretty darn cool people. I mean, we're seeing some video from your show. What have you learned? Because obviously you have one skill, and you're interviewing people with incredible other skills.
Yeah.
What do you learn from them? Do they all say the same sorts of message, that you get meaning from doing these sort of arts and crafts and skills, working with their hands?
Absolutely. And that's, you know, that was sort of where the book came from, right? Was because I work with so many different craftsmen and all different walks, right? I mean, textiles and stone carving and metal and wood and glass,
cobblers.
whatever. Yeah. And they all have the same arc, right? These same characteristics that follow every single one of them, you know, and they're not driven by money. They're not, they follow life to their own beat, you know, and they do things for different reasons that are special to them. And it's so enlightening and so important, you know. But I learn from every single one of them. It doesn't matter who it is or what I'm doing. There's always something I learn.
Well, Tiff mentioned that you're from Detroit, and it's a city where repurposing and rebuilding is certainly a part of its own fabric as a city. But I like what you address in terms of this disposal, get it while you can, get it the next day, consumer type of society. Because these trades, these craftsmen, it's scary to think that this might be part of our history. And I love that you are keeping it alive.
Well, thanks. You know, because it's scary, right? We're at a point now in life where patience is at a minimum. We can't even wait 2 seconds, and I'm guilty of it, right? I mean, if I pull out my phone and that thing takes longer than 2 seconds to load, I'm like, I don't need to see that.
Yep.
You know, just move on. You know?
Skip it, not hitting the refresh.
Yeah, I'm like, how much longer?
Thing,
you know,
that's like the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
But we also are at a point where it's purely acceptable for us to buy furniture and expect it to last 2 years, and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
You know?
And we want to show up at our doorstep, like in a box.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, and then assemble it. Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about that. I think about my grandparents, you know, or even my parents when I was a boy. You know, they go like buying furniture, man. That was an event. You know, they drag you to the furniture store, and I remember I was a little kid. I'm like, you know.
Right, and it was about the feet and how they were carved and the arms and the, you know, things like that.
And you didn't get it right away, which when I was a kid always amazed me. I'm like, how long do we gotta wait? You know, and it took weeks for it to get, you know.
Well, tell the story that you'd shared with us about how long it took to, because one of the things you said is there was a Friday night, you were sitting around with your family, you were a kid, your dad decides, you could see the look in his eye, and he decides what?
Yeah, so my dad is, he's a really talented guy, and he's a pretty unique guy too. So my brother and I were young. We're sitting around Friday night watching Chips on TV and Dukes of Hazzard.
So
and
good.
stuff.
Yes,
Loved it.
Love those shows.
Same thing.
You know?
Dukes of Hazzard was the best.
And we're chilling, and I could see my dad sitting off to the side, and he's always wandering in his mind and thinking about stuff. And I could just tell. I'm like, man, we're gonna be doing something soon here. And he's like, Eric, get over here. Come here, help me out. Like, just want to watch Dukes of Hazzard, man. Chips is going to be on any minute, dude. Can we wait till tomorrow? It's like 9 o'clock at night on a Friday, okay?
Yeah.
And nope, drags us over. He's come, just help me. Everything to him takes 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's a month-long project. It's a 10-minute project in his mind's eye. So he comes over, he starts pulling up the carpet in the family room.
Ripping it up.
Yeah, my mom's gone for the night playing cards
That's
with
a
her
good
friends,
thing.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was, you know, my mom would have just lost it.
Right.
So he's like, E, come over here, you know, and we're pulling it up, and there's a beautiful parquet wooden floor underneath this carpeting. So right then, 9 o'clock at night, whatever time it was, we tore up all the carpeting in this room. All of it, moving furniture out. My little brother is, you know, he's 4 years younger than me, and he's just like, what about Chips?
Guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No more TV, kids.
yeah, and this was way before DVR stuff. You know, I mean, if you missed Chips, you didn't know when you were going to see it next.
Put your microwavable meal away. We're going to rip up the
You know,
carpet.
but that's how it rolled out, you know. And then we spent another 2 months like refinishing that room. And
It's in you. It's in you. And I love that you
I
share
grew up
it.
around it. Yeah.
You
Great.
wrote this book. People can actually get a copy of it. Again, the book is called A Craftsman's Legacy, Why Working with Our Hands Gives Us Meaning. And tonight at 7 o'clock, you're going to be at Milwaukee Makerspace, which is a really cool space. So people enjoy going there in general. Tickets, you can get them at the website. It's georgesmke.bpt.me.
So people need a ticket to go. You don't want people to just show up. Is that right? At the door?
If that's what they say on the screen, then that's what's
You
right.
gotta do what the publisher says.
the screen.
Follow those directions. It was a blast meeting you.
It was
Thanks
great
for being
meeting you
here.
both. Thank
Come
you for
back
having me out.
anytime.
Yeah.
We
I
love
appreciate
it.
it.
We
Thank you
appreciate it
much.
too. Thank you.